ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to your favourite time of the week. You know it is. It's the BBC Spews. Get in. I've got a great story for you this week to open up with. Oh yes, they've only started putting LGBT plus rights on BBC Pigeon. How's it going to go down in Somalia? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's a bastion of progressivism. Didn't hear many mentions of intersectionality or the gender fluid community on Captain Phillips. But you never know, maybe he was just a rare, intolerant, toothless pirate. Who knows, eh? Anyway, thanks for tuning in as always. Don't forget to like it, share it, subscribe it, have a look at Ko-Fi or Subscribestar and all that shit that I never pester you guys about, because you don't come here for that, do you? You come here for the good stuff, like BBC Pigeon. So let's get to it. Shakiro. Human Rights Watch indict Cameroon on alleged violation of LGBT plus rights. And I'm sure Cameroon are mega bothered about it. There she is. Human Rights Watch don't indict Cameroon sake of say them violate the rights of gay people. Is that people? Inside report where them release on Wednesday, the international joint body alleged say Cameroon security forces done arrest, beat and threaten anyhow at least 24 people since February 2021. This report they come during the period when one Cameroon court they torchlight the case of one crossdresser where go by the name Shakiro and him friend Patricia. Both men face trial for attempted homosexuality. How do you get done for attempted homosexuality? I don't get that. Do they have to physically catch you in the act of, you've had 9 pints and you're trying to thumb a bit of rope into your lover's ring piece? How do you get done for attempted homosexuality? I have no idea. Not that I support such things, of course, but I'm curious about that one. Anyway, the non-possession of identification papers and the public indecency. You know what? I am surprised how good I am at speaking Pidgin. It must be because Middlesbrough is a cross between sort of Irish simpleton, Scottish drunk, and like brain-dead Scouser. I think that's what our accent is, a subtle mishmash of. And it turns out you can speak Pidgin almost fluently. So look, it rolls off the tongue easier than reading Shakespeare. Dem torchlights say dear report day come where during time when he be like police station. Fuck me, that actually did sound. Are you sure this wasn't a Geordie wrote this? Come during time when he be like police station. Why aye man, they're rounding up all the lesbians like. Anyway, we also show say tins tough for gay people in the Central African country. You know the drill, lads. You know the drill. I don't need to talk anymore, do I? Why aye man, if you want to read more canny stories, get yourself down to BBC Pigeon. It's read canny. Let's do some proper news now. 4.7 million waiting for operations in England. I've been talking about this for ages, haven't I? I've been talking about this for ages. What did I say? What have I been saying for 12 months? When you turn the NHS into the National COVID Health Service, you fuck the National Health Service. You bend it over a park bench and roger it with a prize-winning leak. It's doomed. This isn't news. If you listen to the Bootneck, I've been saying this for a year. Well, lo and behold. And have you seen the figures from before the pandemic? Around 4.7 million people were waiting for routine operations and procedures in England in February, the most since 2007. Nearly 388,000 people were waiting more than a year for non-urgent surgery compared with just 1,600 before the pandemic began. During January and February, the pressure on hospitals caused by COVID-19 was particularly acute. NHS England said 2 million operations took place despite the winter peak. Well, they would say that. Obviously, the takeaway is that nearly 500,000 people wait more than a year for non-urgent surgery. A year? Compared with just 1,600 before the pandemic began. Fuck me sideways. That is a worse statistic than those ethnically related crime statistics from America that nobody wants to talk about. And I'm not bringing them up because I'm not a fucking maniac. Professor Stephen Powis, National Medical Director for NHS in England, said treating 400,000 patients with COVID-19 over the course of the last year had inevitably had an impact on the NHS. No shit, Sherlock. Inevitably. Yeah, because you've done naught else. In between that, twerking and TikTok videos, If you needed a lump taken off your ball sack in the last 12 months, you're shit out of luck. You best dust the cake crumbs off the kitchen table and get your fucking wife to gorge your testicles with a sharp stick, because that's the only way you are sorting out your surgeries. DIY. DIY. Have at it. Huge rise in weights of more than a year. Through the fucking roof to infinity and beyond. Get that, get a little rubber Buzz Lightyear on the doctor's desk, and when you go in and say, yeah doc, so that polyp you've found up my arse, yeah, the thing that we're concerned might kill me, when can I expect to get that squared away? One moment sir, let's ask Buzz. To infinity and beyond. That's how long the waiting list is. Infinity. Come back. Yeah. How long's a piece of string? What do you mean doc? Give it to me straight. But have you ever really lived? That's the question. Have you ever really lived? Doctor of philosophy. You fucking, next time you go to see the doc because you need a surgery, he's going to turn into the doctor of philosophy. You're not going to get a straight medical answer from him. He'll be like, why are we here? Fuck knows. I'll tell you why we're here. We're here to wait in an NHS bastard fucking waiting list. Yeah, that's why we're here. So yep, shocking. I don't need to wax lyrical about it. I've talked about it for a year. You boys know the drill. You guys all know the drill by now, don't you? Heart disease, cancer, strokes, battered wives, abused children, obesity, heart disease, fucking, oh no, I've already done that one. Drug abuse, addiction, alcoholism, gambling, cancers that could have been caught early and would have saved your life and will now fuck you sideways. There are 24 different things that we should have been worrying about more than this fucking pandemic. And I think that the numbers prove me right. In a couple of years' time, when the Lancet and all of these professional, trusted medical journals crunch the numbers, they're going to look at them and go, holy shitballs, we might as well have put a few million people in an oven. That is how bad the medical community's collective response is going to be to our actions taken during the pandemic when they crunch the numbers, gather all the data and spit out some plausible metrics in a couple of years' time. I guarantee it. Bootnecketeers, you heard it here first. The cure was far, far worse than the disease. The BBC's obviously got a Ramadan timetable. Yeah, I'm buzzing off that. I am so pleased that we all collectively chip in to get the timetables that surely the people that are very, very, very devout religious practitioners and follow this thing don't require the BBC to tell them, right? We go to the BBC for football results, the fucking ice skating, maybe a bit of cricket and the news. What you don't do is go, I'm a very, very devout religious cleric. I really hope that the taxpayer-funded news agency of the UK tells me all the shit I should know anyway. Right? I don't think that's the type of thing that we need to worry about, right? The guys who need to know. And they already know. They don't need the likes of me to tell them they're going to be fucking hungry for a month, do they? Anyway, if anybody's interested, there's the timetable. That's not even... How does that even count as some big deal? That's not a fast. It's not even 24 hours. That's a piece of cake. If I was guaranteed to levitate into paradise on the back of a winged horse, I'd happily crack that. It's a piece of piss. Unfortunately, not too much evidence for it. When has that stopped anyone who's deeply religious, eh? Government's LGBT advisory panel disbanded. Fuck me. I don't mean to keep going on about this, but like I said, I don't really have to comb the BBC for these stories. I literally just log on, have a look for a couple of minutes every day, and every day there's LGBT plus QQ plus alphabet spaghetti. On every day you log on, there's shit all over the homepage. It reads like some sort of advisory pamphlet for a gay rights charity in the 70s or something. It's proper mad how the BBC is obsessed, absolutely obsessed with cock. The BBC, the director of the General, must be more into cock than Elton John, Boy George and Jean-Paul Gaultier. If you could like morph them into one aggressively homosexual entity in arseless leather chaps wearing a cowboy hat and a feather boa, it wouldn't be as into cock as the BBC is. I don't understand it. Especially when most people that still care about the BBC are like over 50. Young people don't give a shit. They're all too busy in Soho doing poppers and wanking each other off. The old people are the ones at the backbone of the BBC, and you would think the average 63-year-old pensioner in Britain is just ripped to the tits on meth, and he's not interested in gardening and steam engines. All he's interested in is getting rinsed 7 days a week by well-hung sailors. It's proper weird. I don't get it. Anyway, there's going to be a few more, so I'm just giving you the preface. Government's LGBT advisory panel disbanded. Equalities Minister Liz Truss plans to set up a new advisory group. It said the government's LGBT advisory panel has been disbanded after 3 members quit last month. Thank fuck for that. If anyone doesn't know, that LGBT advisory panel is basically, we advise you all to be communists, right? We advise you to tear down the capitalist, racist patriarchy and turn into Chairman Mao's left testicle. The advisory panel is just a load of commie ideologues talking shit to the government, whispering sweet nothings in the government's ear. It's total shit, and I can't believe Theresa May, a Conservative Prime Minister, set the bloody thing up in the first place. It stuns me, absolutely stuns me. Some members told the BBC they'd been willing to stay on when their terms ended on the 31st of March. A Conservative backbencher has accused the government of a series of unforced errors. Liz Truss wrote a letter thanking them for their constructive input and said, I will shortly be making an announcement concerning the International LGBT Conference and convening a new body that will take international LGBT rights forward. Why is this our job? Why is this our job? The Conservatives. Who votes Conservative who is obsessed with LGBT rights? I mean, I've got a smattering of interest in it because I'm a socially liberal centrist chap. I don't think LGBT people should be getting persecuted, but it's not my number one fucking agenda. You would think we'd voted Boy George into office, wouldn't you? Not the Conservatives. The clue's in the title. How the fuck did the British Conservatives become left of Tony Blair? How did the British Conservatives become like indistinguishable from Justin Trudeau? How? Justin Aladdin Trudeau is a hardcore Marxist dipshit, and the Conservative Party basically make him look normal. They're obsessed with this shit. I'm embarrassed to admit I voted Conservative. You can't really blame me. I expected what it said on the tin. Conservative. Conservative. They're not called intersectional, people of colour, disabled, trans, hair lip, endless cock and minge collective. It's Conservative. They don't care about any of the things that Conservatives care about. The economy, education, crime and punishment, immigration. When they're going to talk about those 4 fucking things? Christ on a bike. Does my head in. 3 advisors quit because they said the government was dragging its feet on a pledge to ban conversion therapy. Is that what we're worrying about, yeah? Resurgent China, pandemic, economy in the fucking doldrums, colossal levels of debt, a fucked up education system, loonies barricading primary schools, nutters stabbing women in the face on London Bridge, and this is what we're worrying about. Oh, you're going a bit slow when it comes to banning conversion therapy. Fuck me. Yeah, cheers then. When some raving maniac scatters a few dozen more kids up the side of a music venue, I'll be sure to think, let's put that on the back burner. I'm worrying about conversion therapy. I mean, come on. Jane Ozanne accused the ministers of creating a hostile environment. They don't shut up pandering to you. What do you mean hostile? They don't shut up pandering to you. It's hostile for a white working class bloke. That's the only fucking group that this government appear to be actively hostile towards. Look at their difference, the way the police treat a bunch of white working class lads singing England, England in the streets relatively peacefully. Look how they get treated compared to every other group. If 1,000 blokes have a gay disco in the middle of fucking Soho and they're all sniffing coke and gyrating up against coppers, nothing happens to them. If a bunch of activists from the radical left or the fucking Extinction Rebellion climb all over the trains, nobody gets the shit kicked out of them. If BLM protesters brick a police horse, throw fucking firebombs at the police and put 50 of them in hospital, none of them get assaulted. But as soon as Johnny Whiteman rocks up with a Union Jack, it's clubs out, steel toe cap boots aplenty, stomp him till his fucking ball sack's wafer thin. It's unbelievable. What do you mean hostile environment? Do you want to go back to the 60s? Do you want to go to Alabama in the 1950s? No, you don't. You know it's not a hostile environment, so stop telling porcupines. Conservative MP Crispin, he's called Crispin. Of course he's not fucking Conservative Crispin. The government is led by one of the most socially liberal live and let live leaders in our history. Yes, it is. Not very conservative though, is it? Crispin, you are as soft as a second-hand arsehole. I have no interest in listening to you or voting for your shite party ever again. I hope Nigel pulls it out of the bag and comes up with something that is at least remotely close to the centre. Have Silicon Valley managed to shift the Overton window? Have they done it that much? Every political compass I fill in, I'm centre-left. Every single one I've ever done. But apparently, being a normal centre-left, normal fucking bloke, that makes you a radical. Yeah? You are Benito Mussolini's nutsack if you're a normal fucking bloke. This is where we're living. And Boris, the Conservative Johnson, the fascist, you know they're calling him that? Ooh, he's a fascist. Why? Because he's got funny hair like Trump, fascist. Well, Trump isn't a fascist. He's centre-right. And Boris Johnson is left of Macron. And Macron isn't even in a Conservative party. So what is he? There is no centrist option. The Tories are red, and the Reds are way out there. Oh, hang on, I've just thought. That's not going left, is it? Camera's backwards. Pew, pew. Oh, well, who cares? You get what I mean. Fuck it. Facebook urged to scrap Instagram for children's plans. Yeah, they should do. I don't need to talk about this too much, do I? Again, you guys, the bootketeers, you know the crack. We've seen the metrics, we know the data. I only talk about these things that I am knowledgeable about. And we have seen the data. We know what social media does to young children. We know that the likes of Zuckertwat and Doorstop don't let the kids use it because they know it melts their teeny little brains and sends them doolally tap. It's a terrible idea. We know it. We know it's immoral, we know it's illogical, and we're going to let them do it anyway. A group of public health advocates from around the world wants Facebook to scrap its plans to launch a version of Instagram for children. Of course they do. The only person who doesn't want them to scrap it is some fucker like Fred West, because he's got other things in mind for Instagram for children, right? Facebook said it'll be managed by parents. Course it will, yeah, course it will. And that's worked brilliant, hasn't it? And having an immigration process managed by the civil service that only lets in those deserving of asylum. Yeah, that's worked really well as well, hasn't it? They definitely haven't stabbed anyone in the eye or blew any little babies up. Yeah, it all works out just like what they say it is. Always does. Kids are already online. We just want to facilitate them watching hairy old blokes masturbate. We don't. We don't want to do that. You might, but I don't. We're working on new age verification methods. Oh yeah, of course you are. Of course you are. Listen, you can just follow the links. First two that pop up. Instagram fixes mistake promoting harmful diet content. Whoopsie. How many kids did we force down bulimia avenue there, eh? How many? How many ended up thinking Kate Moss was a bit of a fat fucker and spent the next 10 weeks living off Tic Tacs and rainwater? How many? Perrier, fuck off, you fat bitch. Cheers, Instagram. Yeah, cheers. Cheers, lads. Police uncover teenage girl suicide Instagram group. Oh yeah, oh there's another one. We missed that, sorry. It'll be fine moving forward though. It'll be fine. Just step over the bags of bones and the suicidal teenagers lopping gouges out of their own fucking wrists. Just ignore those two trifling errors and we'll just crack on and directly target the most impressionable people in society. Fucking great idea, yeah. Cheers, Zuck. Cheers. They used to call him Data the android, but Data wasn't a sociopath, he was just emotionless. Zuck fucking scares me. If Zuck knocked on my door and said, get yourself down the pub, Matty, I'll look after the kids, I'll say, no, you're alright, I'll phone the local bishop, thanks very much, see if he wants to do it. Fuck me. I'll do one more, Look, see, I can't get away from it, I swear I'm not trying, but everywhere I look, they just pop up. One day ago, look. LGBT homelessness, I had to pretend to be straight. For Sarah, university was a ticket out of an abusive home, okay. Sarah, who identifies as, yeah, of course she does, says she used to be hiding her identity from don't want to say that word, from her pleasant, tolerant definitely nicer than those dull, middle-of-the-road Church of England twats. Definitely nicer than them, and pretending to be straight when accessing services. But her mental health worsened after spending holidays alone in empty student halls. Fucking hell, no wonder. I'd rather go and hang out with a bunch of clerics just for some company than be completely by myself for a fucking holidays. How long's that, 6 weeks on your own? I'm a people person, man, I need to talk. I'd rather spend 6 weeks with Muqtada al-Sadr and Abu Hamza. You know, we could at least play Ludo or something. I'd love to watch Abu Hamza pushing the pieces around the board with a hook as well. I think that'd be a very cathartic experience for me. Anyway, I had a roof over my head but no one else to talk to. Yeah, terrible idea. Ladies and gentlemen, you need company. This is why I do this. We all need to talk. Me especially. I'm a gobshite. But even you. Talk to people. Hang out with people. You don't have to have that much in common with people, but you're better off having someone to talk to. Or at least buy a football and draw a face on the front of it. Something. It was difficult. I was rotting away in the corner of our tiny flat while trying to look for places to live. Sarah, now 21, came out as bi to one of her parents and confronted them, but they refused to accept what she was saying. She then became suicidal. God, it's just toxic and they're just full of SJW buzzwords. Again, you've got to be cruel to be kind, haven't you? LGBTQ people should get assistance. They should get help. They shouldn't be getting abused. Of course they shouldn't. But you've got to look at yourself and think, are you making the right decisions? Is locking yourself away in a crusty flat for 6 weeks a good idea? You must have someone to reach out to. Some of the blame goes on the individual, as always. And instead of whining about how hard everything is and how woe is me, life's too hard, pull your socks up and do something about it. I've been in bad situations in my life. I squared it away. This whole generation, like I keep saying, the problem with this generation is the parents thought all they had to do was protect them. Protect them, keep them safe. Someone will always help you with your problems. Your job isn't to protect your kids. Your job is to toughen your kids up. Get them ready for life without you. If the fucking natural order of things is followed, they're going to be around a lot longer than you are. You're going to kick the bucket, and that's a good thing after a life well lived, and they're going to be left on their own. So prepare your children for adversity and hardship. Don't make them professional victims. Can't wait to tell you what they are. I identify as this. All right, you identify as that. Oh no, but we go down a little bit. Oh, now you're bi. All right, so you've changed your mind again. Oh, weird. Oh, everything's so hard. Charity, need a charity. Need another charity. When you do get help, your default is putting on a straight persona when accessing help. Why? What do you mean it's exhausting? Just be yourself. If me, a miserable, bad-tempered bootneck, doesn't care if you're LGBT, why do the people you're going to seek help from care? These are like charities and stuff. What do you mean? Homophobia from landlords. Never, ever, ever in my life. Not once. How would they know? Why do you have to put on a persona? I've rented several apartments. Not once have I ever went to sign the lease and the landlord went, are you into cock? Doesn't happen. Never. All I care about is money. Have you got a good credit record? Have you got a deposit? Not once have they ever said, aye, but do you like sucking jizz out of another man's ring piece? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This is in your head. So to sum up, you don't have to pretend to be straight. You don't. Be yourself. Get on with your life. Stop seeking out ways to make yourself a victim. Be strong, be tough, be independent, be all of the buzzwords the SJWs love to spout but never ever live by. Do it. You are strong, you are tough, you are more than your sexuality or your skin colour or your gender. Believe it and get out there and do some cool shit. Stop fucking whinging. I'm sick of hearing it. I mean, at least it's not Oprah Winfrey telling me, the working class peon, how hard she's had it, but fuck me. Get a grip. Anyway, I've had enough. A man can only read so much BBC before it's like staring Cthulhu full in the face. It slowly drives you mad. Reading the BBC is like looking at Cthulhu's starfish. It is hard work. Hard fucking work. So I'm done. Despite my steely constitution, even I have my limits. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for once again tuning into the BBC Spews. Like it, share it, have a look at all my other links, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you for a few live streams next week. Bye for now. Cheers.